Ms. Tenney.
Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to the chair, please. I'd like to move
Proceed.
under, yes, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to move under Assembly Rule 2, Section 4, subsection 4, to table this bill.
On Ms. Tenney's motion, clerk will record the vote. It's not debatable, Ms. Tenney. No. Motion is not debatable, or can you speak on it? Clerk will announce the vote.
Ayes 38, noes 89.
The motion is defeated. Read the last section.
This act shall take effect immediately.
Clerk will record the vote. Ms. Gunther to explain her vote. A little quiet, please. Rostrum around there.
As chair of the Assembly Mental Health Committee, we were able to achieve some successes and hopefully help individuals with disabilities or mental health disorder live more healthy and productive lives. We were successful in extending the social work licensure exemption for 2 years, and I am hopeful we can continue to work with all stakeholders in order to reach a permanent solution that will never disrupt our services. The budget also includes languages that will ensure person-centered services, and I repeat, person-centered services for individuals with disabilities who are employed in sheltered workshops by requiring the Office for People with Disabilities to provide alternatives to working in an integrated setting. These initiatives will strengthen the state's capability to help divert individuals with mental health conditions from incarceration, to help these individuals to reenter their communities, and with assistance of improved discharge planning, specialized health homes, and related supports. We were able to provide much-needed capital infrastructure funding, total $30 million, to community-based health providers. This budget makes important strides, and I hope that moving forward, we can make an even stronger commitment to some of our most susceptible, vulnerable populations by providing appropriate funding and services and supports that they demand.
Ms. Gunther in the affirmative. Mr. Abernathy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to compliment the chair of the Mental Health Committee for the efforts that she and the Speaker and the staff have made to ensure the future of people with developmental disabilities. And that's the reason why I'm voting for this bill. Ms. Gunther summarized it very well, and those are the reasons why I'm voting for it. I do have one caveat, however. I am very concerned about the attitude of this administration towards people with developmental disabilities. And when I read some of the language in here, it seems to be a foregone conclusion that there will be no sheltered workshops or anything like it. And if you understand the developmental disability community, you understand that not every person can work in the free market. And there are many who will be sitting at home watching television who used to work, but who don't have the capability to work in the free market, and who are doing something productive in sheltered workshops. This is a mistake that starts in Washington and is being continued by the administration here in Albany. But I am confident that under the leadership of the Mental Health Chair and our committee and our staff, we will find a way to rectify this problem. Thank you.
Mr. Abernathy in the affirmative. Ms. Rosenthal.
Thank you. As chair of the Assembly Committee on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, I am pleased that this budget includes, for the first time in years, a significant increase in funding for the Office of Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Services. OASIS has been deprived of funding for years now, while at the same time attempting to fight a heroin and opioid epidemic that still has not reached its height. I believe the additional funding provided in this budget will lead to more essential services that are necessary to help prevent addiction, as well as those who are seeking addiction treatment. A total of $25 million was added to this budget to present prevention, treatment, recovery, and housing services, ensuring greater access to those services for people who have been afflicted by the heroin and opioid epidemic and other substance use disorders across New York. This budget also includes a restoration of $2 million in addition to the yearly allocation of $14.86 million for the substance abuse prevention and intervention specialists in order to continue providing services and educating young, vulnerable students in New York City schools about the dangers of substance abuse and addiction. There's also $1 million in the Department of Environmental Conservation budget to conduct drug collection programs to help protect the environment from harmful substances and reduce the risk of addiction through safe and responsible disposal of prescription opioid drugs. I look forward to seeing the allocation of these funds help communities across New York in addressing addiction treatment needs. It is crucial that we continue to move away from the punitive ways of addressing people who battle addiction, as was the case in the 80s and 90s, a lock 'em up and throw away the key mentality. People in every community are affected by the heroin and opioid epidemic now, but we must make reparations for the past and ensure that this additional funding in the budget go to aid people of all spectrum, all strata, people who have been neglected
Ms.
in
Rosenthal.
the past, but will now be included. I vote in the affirmative.
Ms.
Thank you.
Rosenthal in the affirmative. Mr. Walter.
Mr. Speaker, just quickly to explain my vote, this all sounds wonderful except for none of it actually exists because we're talking about appropriations and this isn't an appropriation bill. We don't know what the appropriations are yet. This is simply an Article 7 bill with enacting language that enacts something that we haven't even seen yet. So we can talk all we want about all these wonderful things that we're doing, but until we actually see some sort of financial plan, some sort of appropriation that we haven't seen yet, because we have the most dysfunctional process in the world going on here today, where we don't even know what we're voting on because we haven't seen any appropriation bill, I vote in the negative.
Mr. Walter in the negative. Mr. Montesano.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To explain my vote, this is deja vu. 2 years ago, we stood in this chamber and I argued about the cuts of $90 million to the Office of People with Developmental Disabilities. And everybody in this House, both sides of the aisle, on your side of the aisle, echoed a lot of displeasure with that it shouldn't have happened, it shouldn't have happened, it shouldn't have happened. But they all voted for it anyway. And then shortly thereafter, out of embarrassment, the administration had to restore those funds. So today, we're talking about the problem with the sheltered workshops once again, and some of our colleagues are speaking up about it also, but still they'll vote for the bill anyway. So when are we going to learn that these are areas that we don't touch, that we don't cut? It seems it never penetrates. The administration does it, and this House goes along with it, to the detriment of the people that are involved. In my community, I have many work rehab programs and sheltered workshops. Many of the people, and in the decision that came down from the Supreme Court with Olmstead said, many people cannot function in the regular environment of a workplace and still needs the special needs of a workshop. But this administration wholesale invokes Olmstead to eliminate everything that's been accomplished in the state over the past years to not pay for these programs. And again, we'll swallow this again, except for myself. So that's why I'll be voting in the negative. Thank you.
Mr. Montesano in the negative. Are there any other votes? Announce the results.
Ayes 99, noes 35.
The bill is passed.
Assembly Bill 9008C, Rules Report Number 24, Budget Bill, an Act to Amend.
Governor's message is at the desk. The clerk will read.
I hereby certify to an immediate vote Andrew M. Cuomo, Governor.
Mr. Barkley. Mr. Farrell yields. We need a little quiet. I'll let activity in the back, please. Can people settle down?
Thank you, Denny. My question revolves around the Electronic Generation Facility Cessation Mitigation Fund.
Yes.
Could you explain how that works? It's a fund that's going to put $30 million in, I understand, to help municipalities that have electricity generating plants that shut down.
Yeah.
How do you qualify for that?
But the tax is low. Yeah. 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 I don't know if this is the answer, but
Can we, 1 minute, Mr. Farrell, can we clear out that center aisle, please? These two gentlemen are trying to discuss.
If these plants are closed, they will be the loss of taxes for the locality. We would give that the government the government would give them amount of money to help take advantage of that or to help them get through. How long? For how many years? For 5 years.
Yeah, I want to ask. It's first come, first served then? If we shut a number of plants down, I think it's 20%. If they lose their property tax by 20% because of the plant's closure, they qualify.
Yes.
And how's it first come? I guess first come, you put an application in, and
Well,
the money
they're not
runs
gonna
out,
be
you're
that
out of
many
luck?
closing that quickly, so they'll get their first come, first close, but I think there's enough for everybody.
I have a nuclear power plant in I have 3 of them, believe it or not, but I have one in my district, the Fitzpatrick plant, with the operator Entergy says they're going to shut down next year. Mm-hmm. Presumably they would qualify under this legislation, under this proposal?
Yes. What? Yes, they would.
And this is my last question on this, more of a technical question. They are under a section of real property tax law 485. So they're not under a pilot that you would have to an IDA, nor they just pay taxes like any other business would. They pay it under this real property tax law 485. This bill seems to only indicate that you can qualify if it's an IDA pilot or if you're paying taxes. Is your staff aware of this issue with the Fitzpatrick plant? And when was this being drafted? Were they trying to exclude the Fitzpatrick plant from qualifying for this?
We made it neutral. We are not trying to stop anybody from being held. So we think it does work.
So just for clarification then, please, Mr. Chairman, your understanding is the Fitzpatrick plant, if it closes down, which we hope it doesn't, but if it does, that the localities could qualify under this.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the bill.
On the bill, sir.
So in reviewing the bill again, we see a lot of omitted and not enough details and things like that. And certainly you can pick out things that are good and bad in each bill. But one thing that jumps out at me is the Metropolitan MTA Capital Financing Act of 2016 is intentionally omitted, which seems a glaring omission to have left out of a transportation bill. So there are many other things in here that trouble me. Also, a few things that I like. But given the fact that once again we have not been able to review this bill properly, in fact, just got it in its final form today, I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to make a motion under Assembly Rules. Assembly Rule 2, Section 4, Subsection 5, that we postpone the vote on Assembly Vote A 9008C, this budget bill, and we postpone that until Saturday because that is the day where the 3-day aging would have been up, and we would have been able to do our constitutionally required duty to read the bill and, if you will, advise and consent on the bill, and let not only us but the people of New York see what's in this bill. So I'd like to make that motion, Mr. Speaker.
One moment, Mr. McLaughlin, while we review your motion.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Speaker, you can take 3 days if you want to review the motion.
Far quicker than that, Ms. McLaughlin, far quicker than that. On Mr. McLaughlin's motion, the clerk will record the vote. To a date certain. One moment while we prepare, the desk prepares the board to take care of this vote. Yes. On Mr. McLaughlin's motion, clerk will record the vote. It's a. Oh, no. Clerk will announce the results.